Welcome to a special edition of the First Look Seminar. And Gino Bacola, this is what we would call bonus coverage. We got a little extra show on a Thursday for Friday's pick six tomorrow, Gino.
Yeah, the gambling gods knew that it was going to be such a big weekend at Santa Anita with the big Saturday. They wanted to give us a little bit of extra, a big Friday. So we've got a carryover in the pick six. We've got a carryover in the Sunset Six as well. So we'll talk about some of those races that combine Santa Anita and Gulfstream Park. And I'm excited because when we have a special one, we get to bring Georgie out of the bullpen too to add to our great coverage here. Anytime I can sit next to Gio, I'm excited.
RJ, what's happening, buddy?
It is great to be here. What an exciting, the whole weekend's exciting. The whole month of February. It's the first time in, 87 years that there's going to be 4 Mondays, 4 Tuesdays, 4 Wednesdays, 4 Thursdays, 4 Saturdays, and 4 Sundays. It hasn't happened in like 80 years, but hopefully I'll hit the pick six, which hasn't happened in like 80 years as well.
Seminar Skip, how we doing, my friend? I see you got Zenyatta back again for another seminar. What's going on?
Yeah, she's letting me borrow her room for a little bit, but yeah, we're doing good. Looking forward to the pick six tomorrow and a big weekend and a big weekend next weekend. So a lot of big things coming up, and we got a bunch of birthdays coming up too. It's a birthday month.
Birthday month for us, and of course 3 days this weekend, of course, and Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, or we call it the big game. First post is at 11 a.m. Remember that for Sunday. And then next weekend, Gino, we've got an extra day of racing, 4 days of racing next weekend with a lot going on.
Yeah, so you can also go out to Santa Anita, watch the big game there, and they have a really fun setup. And then don't forget the circus also, right? Circus Vargas. That's coming back. I think that's just starting today, February. Yeah. So if you want to check that out, Santa Anita is the place to be over the next couple of weeks, and we love it right now. It's unfortunate that around the country, again, a lot of tracks are having to cancel because of really cold weather, and that's just not going to be the case out here. So if you're watching from somewhere and you're going to be kind of bundled up over the next few days, we've got a lot of great action for you out here at Santa Anita.
And let's get it started, gentlemen. We have a pick six carryover going into Friday's card. That will be a 9-race card, races 4 through 9. Seminar Skip, let's start with you. The first leg, race 4. We're going a mile for $16,000 Claimers Open Company. What are your thoughts here in the first leg?
Okay. I'm going to go 3 or 4 deep in here. The first ones I'm going to use, definitely the 2, Resemblance. Doug O'Neill claims this horse. Coming off a win, it's won 2 in a row. O'Neill, on the form here, it says that he doesn't do real good first off the claim, but he's having a great meet, and this horse is sharp, and this horse is a must-use on my ticket. I'm going to use the 3, Pass the Baton. This is my long shot. It's 8-1. You know, that last race, it was wide, got tired late. The time before that, it was on the grass, which is 0 for 5. The time before that, on the grass. And back in October 26th of last year, it won nicely. It won by 2 3/4 lengths. I think with a better trip, dropping down in class and getting back on the dirt like it was last time with a better trip, I think this horse at 8-1 is a must use. That's my little bomb there. Got to use anything that Librado Baraccio is using. When he gets hot, you just ride him. And this horse won very nicely for 8,000 last time. 4 of the 8 wins have been at Santa Anita. Does have some back class. The 5's going to be on my ticket. Then the last one is going to be another dropper for Andrew Harris, Layla's Candy. This horse has speed. If Contrary Cheftown goes to the front, this horse could sit right off. Edwin Maldonado's having a great meet. He's riding very well. So I'm going to go 2, 3, 5, 6 to start things off.
2, 3, 5, 6 to start it off. Gino, are we looking similar numbers here or anything a little bit different on your ticket?
Some similarities, and I like what Skip pointed out about Doug O'Neill first off the claim. It's funny, when there's a number that I look at and I'm like, I know they're better than that, I always try to dive into it and see if we can find a little bit more. So, yeah, Doug is 0 for the last 22, but it's just kind of a bad stretch, right? First off the claim, in that stretch, 9 of them have finished in the top 3. If you go to the last 2 years, he's 4 for 35. So he's got 4 winners. If you go to the last 5 years, he's actually 18%. He's 26 for 143. So he's capable. He's a trainer that gets really hot too and kind of goes through some cycles. And it just was, for whatever reason, a lot of the horses they were claiming were like running second or third, not winning. And he can absolutely win with the horse like this. And I think in this race, I'm looking for horses that I think can be close, can be forward. Like, I don't know how many horses are going to want to come closing from way, way out of it in here. So I like the fact that the 2 Resemblance can kind of sit close. I like the fact that Leia's Candy can sit close and beat Claimers back on December 5th. The 5 Contrary Chieftain probably in the mix for me too. Same thing. These horses can sit close. I don't think they're going to be lining up on the lead with each other, but I think they might be fine sitting like 1, 2, 3. And I think I want those horses that are going to be more towards the front in here.
Yeah, and Georgie, as Gino mentioned there, Resemblance, all 4 wins lifetime have been at this mile distance, and horse has been in the money all 4 times at Santa Anita. That's a hard one no matter what, Doug, as we know, who has been a good claiming trainer throughout the years. It's hard to leave this one off your ticket, George.
Yeah, I mean, I've always, for years and years and years, I was always, since I've been in this business, first off the claim is usually a good bet, because the first time in the barn, they just naturally, it's just human nature to give them a little bit extra attention. The owner just plopped down a bunch of money. So you gotta try to be, look as best as you can for the new owners. So you certainly have to use Resemblance, and he's going for the hat trick. He certainly can have it, but this is a race where I'm going to use the 1, 2, 3, and I think I'm going to use the 4, 5, 6, and I think I'm going to throw in the 7 as well. So
they really can
use them all, because you can make a case for any of them. Maniatic was claimed 2 back as well for 16,000, and he didn't real good for 25,000, but now he goes right back to 16,000. He was actually favored over Resemblance and almost beat Resemblance 2 back. And Pass the Baton has got some good thoroughgraph numbers. Leia's Candy, Speed, Grazy.
But nobody's more than 8 to 1, right? It just shows you right there. Yeah. There's no long shot in the field. Any one of these 7 can win. It is a very challenging way to start a pick 6, because you got to pick and choose in those spots, right? But like George said, you don't feel comfortable even going 3 or 4 deep out of the 7 in here.
Yeah.
And I have some really strong opinions later on. So this is a kind of a race where even if like the second choice wins, he's still going to be 4 to 1 or something like that. So he's going to play well in the pick 6 no matter who wins.
All right, so George, your race is about ready to go off at Oaklawn, so I'll fill in for you for a second. George is gambling on an off day. There's nothing wrong with that. George isn't going to use the all button, but he's
in case if you needed any expletives, right? So just mute button on your end.
Muted. I've been known to yell some expletives in the past live.
Yeah, we all have. It's racing. Yeah.
So in the first leg, George isn't going to go all. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a 7-horse field. So, all right, Gino, let's move on to the second leg. We go a nice allowance here down the hill, as we always love the down the hill race. In leg 2 of the pick 6, what are your thoughts here? They're still in the gate, George. Sorry, there's one hasn't loaded yet, so I'm trying to.
Somebody is cutting their hedges.
Go ahead.
Is there like a lawnmower?
Yeah, that's the garden. Yeah.
I was like, okay, there we go. At least I'm not. I wasn't sure if that was in my head. At least I know I'm not crazy. So there's one thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was my computer, because I'm going in and out again, so I thought it was me.
I get that buzzing in my head quite
often, Gino.
So I wasn't sure. Okay, 5th race. The horse I like in here, I'm a little concerned about the rail draw, but I do like the one I'm about to go. And I'm hoping this horse can end up sitting 3rd in this race, because I'm a little confused about how the race may shape up. I think the 2 is pretty quick. I think the 3 is pretty quick. I think they both want to go. The 4 might be able to sit close. I'm hoping the one I'm about to go can track right behind them. I think coming out of a race where She was third. She was behind Grateful. And that was Grateful got a perfect trip that day. And the one horse had a little bit of trouble, no room, had to kind of shift around and angle around. So I didn't think it was the smoothest of trips. I'm hoping they can sit just behind the leaders because the rail sometimes can be a tough draw down the hill, but the 2 makes the most sense. I might try to get out of here if I can with 1, 2. I thought the outside 2 were kind of longer shots that were a little tough to get to. I thought you could make a case for any of the other 4, but I'm going to try to maybe go 1, 2 here.
All right. So at least on his A ticket, it's 1, 2. And George, I heard if you're doing a live show and your horse runs last, that you get your money back. So
He didn't win. The 12 didn't win. Oh no, it was 1-2. I'm sorry. It looked like a 12 for a second. Oh, it was 1-2. Man, I thought I had it there.
Definitely ran last, but that's okay, George. We're getting the bad ones out of the way for the pick 6 tomorrow. So Gino on his A ticket is going to go 1, 2, and maybe a little look at the outside too on his B ticket. What are your thoughts here?
I toyed with possibly singling Certitude, but you know, the more I looked at the numbers, God, they're all so evenly matched on thoroughgraph numbers. The best thoroughgraph number actually is Young Love, which you know, he came in with some really sharp thoroughgraph numbers. So I was toying with using the 2 as a single. So, but I might use the 2 and the 4 just because the strong numbers on Young Love. So 2 maybe by himself, but possibly 2, 4.
What's a little concerning too, George and Chad, I was like, both the 1 and the 4, I'm thinking like could sit the trips. Like if the 2 and the 3 go and hook up and the 1 and the 4 are sitting right behind them. But for both of them, this might be a little farther than either of them really want, 6.5. That's what I was I'm like, I'm looking for a horse in this race that's not there, you know, like a horse that can get a trip or can finish that I just don't know if they're in this race.
A little confusion here in a compact field. Skip, maybe you could be the tiebreaker. What are your thoughts here?
Oh, you know, I'm going to go too deep here. Certitude definitely going to be on my ticket. I thought about singling that horse also. Princess Moshe, who just beat this horse, came back and won the stake on Saturday. Paradise Lake is a good horse for Peter Urton. But I'm going to use that one, and my long shot I'm going to use in case these horses do line up on the lead or they do go real fast. I think Shillified, the 5 horse, Patty Gallagher's horse, has a shot. It's won down the hill before. That last race just completely threw out. This horse doesn't want to run on the dirt. It's a grass horse. You know, they put it coming off the break in the grade 1 La Brea. I just tossed that race out. If they go fast up front, Shillified's got a shot at 10-1. I'm going to go 2-5 in here.
I think I'm going to throw that horse in a pick 5 at least, like in a late pick 5 situation, because that's the one that might be able to close and finish, because it looks like the other horses could really, like 4 of them, line up across the way you were mapping it out, Skippy, and just a little bit tricky in this small field. Because even with Certitude, look at the last 4 races. This horse has been the beaten favorite twice, and then another time was only 5-2 and lost. So she doesn't mind burning money either in like situations like this. So that's why I had a tough time not wanting to single her.
Right. And I tell you, Gino, you made a good point with the distance.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these horses have distance questions. You
They
know,
might be those 5 furlong turf horses, right? That 6.5 is kind of pushing it for them.
Right. And the 2, you know, is 1 at a mile. And we always love when they cut back from a mile to this 6.5. And I just think that there's no distance limitations or questions with the 2 or 5. If they go fast, I think the 5's a good long shot. You know, we'll see on the numbers. It looks a little slow, but it has one coming down the hill. And I always give that a couple extra bonus points when they win down the hill.
Well, Certitude, like you guys said, has a little bit of second-itis in her maybe, and Shillified owes me no favors. That was one of the horses I caught very early on. We all have our favorites, so that's a horse after my own heart. All right, Skipper, right back to you, my friend. Oh, no, it's a Skip. Yeah. Race 6 here. 6.5 furlong starter, optional claimer, leg 3. What are your thoughts here?
Actually, it's Georgie's turn.
My turn.
Oh, is it
Go
George?
ahead, George.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I
I got confused because George's race was going
I this is a single for me. I love this Colt, and the Thoroughgraph number is number 4, Liam Smith. The Thoroughgraph numbers, both of them crush anything that anybody else. He's like an omnifig. Everyone, his worst figure is better than anybody else's best figure. And I had a ton of money on Sharon's Beach last time out. Was super well meant, that runner. And boy, did Liam Smith show true grit and just would not let Sharon's Beach by. It was almost 10 lengths back to the third place horse. I mean, they were like, in a race of their own. And Liam Smith showed me, wow, it's just true grit. Jeff Mullins, first off the claim. He's deadly first off the claim. And again, as I mentioned, I love horses first off the claim. So Jaramillo is riding like out of his mind. So great for Tom Canute. So good for them. So to me, an absolute easy single for me is number 4, Liam Smith.
All right, there's Georgie's single for you, Skipper, and we already mentioned a few of the hot barns, the Doug O'Neill barn being one, the Librato Broccio being another, and Jeff Mullins is on fire as well. What are your thoughts here in leg 2?
I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to single the 4. Mullins claims this horse, brings it back in a couple weeks. The horse must be doing good for him to bring it back this quick. That race was really good. Boy, they went faster, 21-4, 44-2, 109-2. Final time of 1:15-4. That was a racehorse time. That was a really big race. They bet it way down that day. I think it was 9-2 or 4-1 in the program. Ended up going off around 6-5. It looked like Sharon's Beach was coming at this horse, and it was at the wire. But on the gallop out, Liam Smith never let that horse by. It got really game on the gallop out. I really am a big person. A lot of people make fun of me about the gallop out and stuff, but I'm a big believer in the gallop out. If they gallop out good or get real game on the gallop out, that I love that. So, it's on the outside of the other speed, but I think, he might be the quickest of the quick. Jaramillo has been riding unbelievable, like Giorgio said. I was trying to think about my boy Stan, the 5. Love Hector Berrios jumping aboard, but, broke its main for 50 at Gulfstream. Ran a bang-up race for an optional 75, got beat a half length. Ship it out here for the Cal Cup Derby and did not run a step. I mean, basically got eased. They do take the blinkers off, came back with a slow work, which I tried to look for it on XBTV or First Bet TV. I couldn't find it. So I just don't know about that horse. So I'm going to take a shot, and I'm going to single the 4, Mullins first off the claim, just like Giorgio.
All right, 2 singles here. Going to you, Gino. My boy Stan is interesting maybe because there does seem to be a lot of speed. This horse is cutting back to one turn, taking the blinkers off. Are we going to make it 3 for 3 singling here, Gino?
No, I will use the horse, but I'm going to use 1 or 2 others. And I respect Liam Smith. I think of the speeds, this is the best one. That career debut race, that is a strong maiden race. Secured Freedom, who won that race, is entered in the Robert Lewis on Saturday. So we're going to talk about that race tomorrow in our preview. And I like that horse. I made that horse my top pick coming off of an 88 buyer win at like 6-1. So that's what major player. The runner-up that day, Captain Shreve, came back and just ran second last week to that really nice Baffert first-time starter, Patente. Right. So that horse actually ran well again, but just ran into another really nice horse. That was a strong race. And then Liam Smith dropped out of that race and won. And what was nice, won at 6.5. But you were kind of hitting on it, Chappie. There might be a version of this race where the 2 goes, the 3 is really fast. So I think the 3 is going to be keeping the 4 company as well. The 6 may be going. All of a sudden, there could be 4 horses in this field lining up. I'm going to use the 5 because my boy Stan had a fine start, was inside, was sitting third, just behind the leaders, got shuffled back a little bit, and then just stopped. It was like he lost all position, and then they just backed up. And what I'm wondering, too, is when the Lasix almost looked like a bleeding situation when a horse just kind of packs it in and backs up. Now you get Lasix for the first time and the blinkers come off. So the 4 and the 5 are in the mix to me. My sneaky horse in here is the 7, Fumano's Magic. This horse can close. And if you go race by race through this horse, career debut, loses to Max Chow, that horse comes back and wins the I'm Smoking Stakes in the next start. Then Fumano's Magic wins. Third start, loses to a horse named Ocean Bear, back-to-back races. Ocean Bear is 3 for 4. Remember, that horse was favored in the Calbred Stakes and got scratched out of that race. That's a very, very nice horse right now. And then in the race behind Send It In Mo, well, Fumano's Magic doesn't really have as good of a chance in those races where there's not as much speed. So in a race where Send It In Mo is the lone speed, they'll always have the advantage over Fumano's Magic. But in this spot where Send It In Mo, Liam Smith, Straight Buzzin', Colleague, they might all be lining up, I think it gives Fumano's Magic a big, big shot. Also, take a look at the horse that beat Send It In Mo, Marco's Performance. Fumano's Magic actually just outfinished that horse at Los Alamitos. So that horse just beat the horse who came back to beat the second choice Send It In Mo in here. I think the 7 is a fun, sneaky price. I'm going to go 7-4-5.
All right, so 2 singles and a 4-5-7 from Gino. And we move on to race 7. Now, Skip, we're back to you. Going 6.5 furlongs on the turf, on the main, not down the hill, on the flat surface. What are your thoughts here in race 7?
I'm going to go too deep in here. I'm going to use the 1 Van Cougar. Peter Urton off to a great meet. He's running at 16%, but all the horses are running well. Second, third. Second off the break, has 2 wins at Santa Anita. JJ Hernandez is riding it. This horse should get a really good trip from the inside. It looks like maybe the 2 Tuxedo and Smart Code, the 3 with the blinkers on. They might be going head and head here. So that's why I kind of didn't want to use them. I hope that I'm right, but yeah, hopefully one of those horses just doesn't get loose. You know what I mean? Whenever you think there's going to be 2 speed horses, seems like one gets loose. But the other horse I'm going to use is the 7, American Glory. Leonard Powell trains this horse. Giroux is welcome to Southern California Racing, and he's coming over. This horse won on October 18th very nicely, 3/4 of a length. Then it came back and it ran second. Captain Chuchi's came back to win again. I like the outside draw. Did I say it wrong, Gino? I usually mess up the names. What was the name of that horse, Gino?
I think Chuchi. Yeah, I think you were.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think you got it.
Are you just trying to make me feel good, buddy?
Oh, no. Chuchi's is the right one. It was the other one that was kind of
It was funny. The second time you got it right. The first time that I was what? Yeah.
The first time was the funny one.
Because he doing a little tickle. Coochie coochie coo, right? That was what he was doing.
I'm glad I didn't get it wrong the third time. I would have been struck out. You guys would have cut me off the show. So at 8-1, American Glory, the outside draw. If they go fast, hopefully the 2 and 3 hook up. I think this horse has got a big shot. It looks real good. That last work on the 30th, I really liked over the Tapeta surface. So I'm going to go 1-7 in here.
All right, so bookends for Skip. Coochie coochie coo. Skip's using 2. Gino, what are your thoughts here in the race 7?
Yeah, I like the 4 a little bit too. Proudly Hailed. If you just look at this horse's recent turf sprints, they're all pretty good. Now, he likes to run second, but this isn't a field with monsters in here, right? A lot of these horses only have 1 or 2 victories, so it's not like he's facing a bunch of other 10-time winners in here. So I think, the January 24th race was a pretty good second. Go back 3 races at Laurel Park. That was another good one when breaking the maiden there. And even back at Woodbine going 6 furlongs. So different turf courses, but all the sprint races on the turf are pretty good for Proudly Hailed. And again, we've been talking about Jaramillo, who's just like a hungry rider right now in a new circuit where he's getting horses to show a little more speed, right? He's putting them in the right spot. And that's exactly what he did with Proudly Hailed last time. This horse was just in a good spot, ran second. So I think a really interesting horse. Skip mentioned the 3 also, Smart Code. That one's going to be in the mix for me. The blinkers come on. Was just looking like they were struggling to switch leads a little bit. I do think the blinkers could really help. I might even throw in the 5, who, the 1, 3, and 5 were all coming out of the same race. I was a little disappointed with the effort from Van Cougar. I did kind of like some of the others out of that race a little bit more. So I may even look at the 5 Spearfish, who comes off of a pretty good effort last time out at a big price of 25-1. And a lot of times people just dismiss those horses, but I may use this one right back. Certainly going to be using the 3-4. And then if I go a little bit deeper, it would be the 5, the 7 would be my next horse. That might be a horse I have to use in a pick 4 or pick 5. So for sure, 3 and 4 here for me.
All right, 3-4, maybe a little bit of Spreadsville on his B ticket. Georgie, you already got your single in. Are you spreading here in the 7th?
Before I get to my pick, I want to say that, I do Santa Anita Hoy in the program and on, Sábado, Domingo, how you always call me Sábado, Domingo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my top pick Saturday is Sacred Freedom as well. Really, nobody is stuck out in that race,
No.
And Sacred Freedom has every right to improve. He's 6-1, and the other ones are like, they've had their chance to show that they got the stuff, and they don't have it. So maybe, I agree with Gino. So I'm positive for Gino.
I'm with you too. And if you look at that horse is giant and kind of hasn't figured it out yet, but wants every bit of 2 turns, I think.
Trading
sure.
really well in the mornings too. Looks like a horse that wants to go longer. Yeah, just not a lot of speed.
Yeah.
Might be able to sit like 2nd or 3rd too, kind of sit close there. So lots of positives.
Oh boy, so, we're all over. All of us are on this horse now. Look out!
Too much, a lot of weight. So positive for Gino. Now negative for Gino. He picks 5 horses in every race. I don't have that kind of bankroll. I can't be picking 6 horses in every race. Man, goodness, great. What's your pick 6 ticket? $5 million.
Did you notice how I would say I probably can't use those horses in a pick 6, so I would maybe have to use them in a pick 4 or pick 5. The difference between a $2 and a 50-cent base wager. So that's all.
All right, I'm just kidding. I'm singling in this race. I love this horse, and I'm singling this one at the end of a pick 3, the second leg of a daily double. Single him. I absolutely love him. My whole day revolves around number 7, American Glory. I love American Glory. Comes in by far the best thoroughgraph number, a 6. Everybody else is 9s and 10s. That race was spectacular against Captain Coochie Coochie Coo. And Coochie Coochie Coo came back and won. So a key race, and that horse was well meant that day. Took a lot of action the day he won. Also, Leonard Powell, Viva la France, he loves to take care of his French jockeys. He took care of Pratt when Pratt was starting. Now Florent Giroux is coming to town. Oui, je ne sais pas, what's a fou-fou? And I think he's giving them some serious live runners. Look at the workouts. I think Skip mentioned it. Great workouts leading into this race since that last race where he, showed true grit coming in second. Mr. Leisure, who was 3rd, came back and ran great last weekend. That was a key race for me. I love American Glory, a single for me in just about everything.
All right, I like it. The 8-1 single. George is very fired up, but he's.
No, I will say that horse won't be 8-1.
No.
That horse won't be 8-1. Like 4-1, 7-2,
4-1.
Like yeah.
You think 4-1 that low?
Yeah. Because that horse is a fit. A lot of the reasons that you pointed out, coming off of a really good effort. That was a career best by your speed figure, absolute player. And I love, George, when you single a horse like that, that isn't going to be a 6-5 single that everybody else does, because you'll still get some separation there.
Yep, no question about it. All right, Gino, right back to you, buddy. Race 8, going a mile, allowance optional claimer on the main track. What are your thoughts here?
I can afford to use a couple in here because I'm going to have it all stacked up to my single in the last race. So I just got to get alive to that last race when my single will come in.
That's a good feeling.
In this race, the horses that are on my radar, and I just got to figure out how I want to play them. The 4 is obviously like the lone speed. There's no other speed in this field. And on paper could be really tough to catch. I think the 2 is kind of interesting also, shared future. So I want to make sure I'm using the 2. 1's going to get money. I think I'm going to probably just try to go 2-4 in this spot. The 2 had a slow start in that January 11th race. In the same race that Our Moonlight was in, was last of 7, was inside and closed really well in between horses late, and was not that far behind Our Moonlight. And that was going 6.5. And you can see Shared Future is better going longer. This horse has been really good at this distance. 2 and 3 starts back. Second, right behind Grecian Goddess, and then was a winner 3 starts back against first level allowance. So I think the 2 might be in a small field, kind of a sneaky horse if you can get around the top 2 betting choices. So I'll go 2 and 4.
All right, 2, 4, and tossing our Moonlight. Georgie, what are your thoughts? What do the numbers say here?
The numbers say 2 of them stand out, and it's number 1, our Moonlight, who, even though Shared Future didn't break well, our Moonlight was wide and earned a much better thoroughgraph number. I think he's better. He was, the last time he was on the dirt 2 turns, it was a grade 3 event and came in third to Cash Call and Howen. I mean, I think our Moonlight is a must use, and I like a lot of trainers. I love Dean Pedersen. Like, I love him. He's just the nicest guy that ever walked and I root for him every time. And he's a really good trainer. He doesn't get a lot of stock, and so I'm using him for sure. And then run a mile in my shoes. When a horse gets claimed 3 times in a row by the local trainers, if they like him that much, you just got to pay attention. You know, I mean, this runner is knows how to win, loves to be in the exacta. He's got Jaramillo. Peter Miller is great. You got to use the 4. So I'm using the 1 and the 4.
All right, so 1 and 4 and 2 and 4. Skipper, obviously we know we were on our Moonlight since race number 1, and Run a Mile in My Shoes has never lost on the dirt. So what are your thoughts here?
You know, I'm going to take a shot. I thought about going too deep, but I'm going to take a shot and single our Moonlight. This horse, they put the blinkers on. Peterson, you know, he has good numbers with everything, but when he puts the blinks on, he wins 33% of the time. I bet it last time. I had it singled in everything, and I was a little disappointed the way that she ran. I'm just hoping that, you know, she needed the race. Maybe she just needed that race. I always thought, even when she won first out going 6 furlongs, I said, gosh, when I went and saw her in the paddock, and she looked like a big, leggy, long filly, I said, she's going to be better going 2 turns. I didn't bet her that day. She won at 8-1, and she won nicely. She came back in the next race, lost by a length to Barbatia, Michael McCarthy horse. Then they stretched it out, didn't run that bad in the Summer Oaks against Cash Call, and Howen came out of there to win. Then they tried the grass, didn't run very good, but did get beat by Velocity, who came back and won the Del Mar Oaks. I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to single the 1 here. Hopefully the blinker's on, being on the inside, needed that last race, came back to work 2 more times. I'm going to take a shot and single the 1 here. I did think about using the 2 for all the reasons Gino said, but I'm going to single the 1.
Can I just say something real quick? Pereira, it shows here, he's winning at 9%. Something's wrong with me, because I think he's been winning like 50%. It seems he seems to win a lot of races this meet, but then I look down, he's only 9%. He was hot there for a while, wasn't he?
I think right at the very start, which was sort of the end of last year, right? So, like, I think some of his last year numbers look better when you look at 2025. But they've been running well, and I think at big prices and in like some big spots was probably the ones that we remember. Because I agree, it felt like more than that.
And he's a good combination. He runs a lot for Dean and Knapp as well. So Knapp's had a lot of seconds, I guess. Maybe we'll think about that. All right, we move on to the final leg. George, I'm going to start with you. That way we end with Gino's single. As George said, he's gone 7 deep in every race. So we're going to let him finish it off with the big reveal as the single of the last race. Georgie, what are your thoughts here, race 9?
All right, so I'm either going to single a horse or go 6 deep, because the thoroughgraph numbers, they're all the same. I mean, it's really a 10, a 10, a 10, a 12, a 10. The one I might single is got the worst thoroughgraph numbers, but it's number 2, Precision. And maybe, Skip, you guys know Mike McCarthy a lot better than me, but they thought enough of this when he came from Great Britain to immediately put him in a $100,000 stakes race, had some time off, immediately another $100,000 stakes race, and now they drop him to $25,000. He's got some good works. They add Lasix for the first time, and I mean, to me, he's either going to crush this field or they're getting rid of him because he's no good. And I don't know what to do with him. I mean, he's either, I think, with the class drop, boy, he's He's facing the Bad to the Bone just ran for $6,000. You claiming he's running 2 stakes races. Precision is either going to win or you're going to have to go 18 deep in a 10-horse field.
And I'll give you a little tease. That is not the horse that I'm going to single.
All right, no, I'm saying
Just a little teaser.
I had a feeling on that. So, yeah. All right, so Georgie's got 2 bullets singled already, so he's either going to go 3 singles or the all button. I think the all button's coming here, Skip. What are your thoughts?
The question mark is Precision, the 2-horse. Drop him way down. Only a 4-year-old. It is a gelding. Comes out of that key race at Pasadena. The first 2 finishers came back to win. Had trouble in that race. It's tricky because we can't watch any of the works because they're at San Luis Rey. So at least if he's working at Santa Anita, we could see and, okay, this horse looks good because he doesn't have to be 100% to win this race, I don't think. But it's a big question mark. And these are the ones we usually try to beat, right? Especially when they're 7-2. I'm going to use it reluctantly, but Michael McCarthy, I trust him with everything he sends out. Harmio, we already talked about him. I'm going to use the 4, Silky Rabbit. I like this horse. I think that last race was a prep. This horse doesn't want to go 6.5. It wants to go farther. It gets it today. There's not a lot of speed in the race. This horse has tactical speed. I wish that Hector Berrios was still on the horse. They put Kamar on, which he's riding great. He's having a great meet. So he's doing good. So that's not that big of a downfall, but I'm a big Hector Berrios fan. 4 is going to be on my ticket. And listen, I've been trying to catch Prince Dulce for the last 5 or 6 times. And I can't let him beat me this time if he gets up and wins. He's been running sneaky good races, breaking from the way outside. The race at Del Mar was sneaky good, only got beat 3 lengths in a key race. I loved it last time, and it was just way back, breaking from the 10 out of 11 horses, it broke from the way outside on the 10. And it just, it made a move, but I don't know. Maybe this horse is just one of those horses that does the same thing every time. It sits way back and just makes a run and keeps coming and never will get there. But I'm going to go 3 deep. I'm going to go 2, 4, 6 on my ticket to end the pick 6.
All right, so 2, 4, 6. There are some odd droppers in here that we're guessing on a little bit. Gino, where is your single, the big reveal?
Yeah,
I can't wait.
Tricks are for kids, Silly Rabbit.
Silly Rabbit.
They are for kids. This horse is going to hopefully go gate to wire. So as Skip was pointing out, there is almost no speed in this race. You go up and down the field. The only horses who have even kind of sat close, the 3 Bad to the Bones last time out, that was when he drew the rail. And I think it was one of those like hold position from the inside. He doesn't really have a body of work of showing speed. So in that January 24th race, it was a little bit better than it looks too. This horse was last of 5, was in tight, just behind the leaders and kind of got shuffled back. Now you stretch out, you get some class relief. The 2 starts back race when going a mile and a 16th on the turf. That was a really good third that day. Was second, was a length off, was chasing Pacific Quest, loomed up the challenge, but Pacific Quest was actually the lone speed there. And I think this time, this one will be the lone speed. If you look at the pedigree, this horse has a really strong pedigree for a 25 non-2. So 4 turf sibling winners, half sibling to grade 1 winner Spenderella, who won the Del Mar Oaks going a mile and an 1/8. Half sibling to grade 1 winner Spanish Queen, who won the American Oaks going a mile and a 1/4. So this horse is a sibling to 2 different grade 1 winners going long on the grass. 4 of the 5 siblings to race on the grass won on it. Pedigree says long on the turf. Second start off the bench, lightly raced in a field where we don't love anyone. I like these horses who have some upside, not the horses who we've kind of seen get beat over and over and over again. I think this horse gets up front, steals this race. Silly Rabbit. Tricks are for kids.
Tricks are for kids. Silly Rabbit going gate to wire. Skip, do you have a comment? Go ahead, buddy.
I do. Gino, I agree with everything you said about the breeding, and boy, those are some good horses. But look at this. The weird thing is, I know it's a gelding, but They bought this horse for 50. Uncle Mo's stud fee is 125. With that breeding and that stud fee, you would think this horse would go for a lot more. So maybe, it's just kind of weird.
And that's probably why they're at this level, because there maybe was like a physical issue, right? Maybe like when they were watching sometimes you'll see things like the action isn't quite as strong. And that means some horses will need these lower levels to run at, right? So I agree with you. Maybe not a horse that down the line will step back up into graded stakes races, but might have found the right field where they could get out front, not facing monsters, and still be able to get the job done here.
I don't know if you guys do this, but I do this, and it's not going to help me in the pick six. But if Proudly Hailed runs well earlier, I'm going to give this horse more credence. Do you guys ever do that?
Absolutely. 100%.
So I'm going to look at that race and go, man, if that horse does well, that ups the stock of Silly Rabbit in my eyes. And then I might go in there and single him on top of tries and supers and
a late pick 3 or something like that, right? You got a $3 pick 3 where you come back and you go, okay, you know what? Yeah. I totally agree. You always want to do that, George.
And it's funny, George, that you mentioned that, because Proudly Hailed, when it ran on the 24th, somebody told me to bet that horse. They said, this horse is live, bet it. That horse ran really good. It go back down to the inside and just missed a lip, galloped out really good. So that horse was live, and they bring it back quick. So must be doing well still. So you guys might be onto something there.
So speaking of being onto something, one more serious question before we leave. Did anybody actually like the cereal tricks?
Yeah. Yes.
I ate it when I was a kid. I liked it, but now you got to get the marshmallow in something. The marshmallows there for me. Like, I need the marshmallows in the mix. So one of the greatest things that Fruit Loops did was Fruit Loops added the marshmallows in with the Fruit Loops. Just fantastic. Very well done, Fruit Loops.
Yeah, I wasn't a big tricks guy. I don't know. That takes me off of
sugary. Yeah, they're like too like they were like a plasticky taste. I didn't love it.
And I didn't like those kids that were so mean to the rabbit. Let them have some cereal, man.
I know.
I never liked those kids.
Those damn kids. All right, Gino, take us home, buddy. A lot going on this weekend.
Yeah, $52,000 plus carried over into this pick six that we're talking about on Friday. Also a carryover in the Sunset Six that combines those races from Santa Anita and from Gulfstream. And if you're ever curious about what's happening at Santa Anita, go to santanita.com/events. You just click on the event section. It'll tell you every day what's happening, all the different games and contests you can get involved in, different special wagers that they'll have, and then the big events happening. I mean, next month, Big Cap Day, only 2 months away from Santa Anita Derby Day. Mardi Gras next weekend, Chappie, you're going to be partying February 14th and 15th. Also Valentine's Day too. So all the big events coming up that are on track or at home for the gamblers, check out santanita.com.
That's right. Giorgio will be dressed. Go ahead, Georgie.
Yeah. No, I want to mention that if you like playing tournaments, oh my goodness, in February, we got a tournament just about every day, every weekend. So a lot of tournaments are coming up this month. It's going to be very exciting for tournament players.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. We will be back again tomorrow night, about 15 minutes after the last race. We will cover the pick 5 into Saturday. Unless there's a double carryover, then it will be a pick 6 preview into Saturday. So thank you, gentlemen, and I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.